गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल ऑफ यू। आज हम करेंगे लेक्चर नंबर 2 और लास्ट लेक्चर में जैसा आपने देखा कि हमने इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स क्रैश कोर्स से हमने शुरू किया है, ठीक है। और लास्ट लेक्चर में मैंने चार्ज को डिस्कशन में लिया था। आज हम उसी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए कूलम्स लॉ को डिस्कस करेंगे और कूलम्स लॉ से रिलेटेड जो न्यूमेरिकल के टाइप्स बनते हैं वो हम ऑलमोस्ट जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट टाइप्स हैं वो डिस्कस करेंगे आज। Okay, so let me start with the Coulomb's law. This is lecture number 2 and article number 2 is also there because article number 1 I described as the charge. Okay, so all the phenomena or the important aspects of the charge I have discussed in the first lecture, and today we are going to discuss about the Coulomb's law. See, the Coulomb's law is Coulomb's law. As you know that we are discussing a crash course, so without going into detail I'll be discussing about the only important aspects here. Okay, so the Coulomb's law is what actually the Coulomb's law is. Coulomb's law, first of all you have to notice that the Coulomb's law is applicable to the point charges because the point charges cannot be polarized. Okay, so this tells us about the magnitude of the force between the point charges. So these point charges does mean a small object you are taking, and these point charges are having a characteristic that they cannot be polarized. Fine, so point charges, they cannot be polarized. And what actually this Coulomb's law is, मैंने बताया कि ये मैग्नीट्यूड बताता है फोर्स का। सो हम क्या करेंगे, मैग्नीट्यूड डज मीन दैट F, and it says when two point charges are interacting with each other, suppose this Q1 and Q2, these are the point charges placed in a vacuum. So these point charges, and suppose R is the distance between them. This is very simple, you know that, but I'm supposed to do the complete topic, so I'm discussing that. So F is K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So this is a magnitude of the force between the two charges placed in a vacuum at a distance of R, where this K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, this is epsilon naught. जीरो को फिजिक्स में या साइंस में हम नॉट से डिनोट करते हैं, नॉट बोलते हैं, ठीक है। सो एप्सिलॉन नॉट, वेयर दिस इज हैविंग द वैल्यू 9 into 10⁻⁹ न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वायर पर कूलम स्क्वायर। ओके, न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वायर पर कूलम स्क्वायर। सो इन द न्यूमेरिकल्स you have to use this K equals to the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and if I talk the reality of this Coulomb's law, that is F directly proportional to Q1 Q2. That means the Coulomb's law says that the force is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So that is F inversely proportional to R square. Fine, so these are the two statements which Coulomb's law states. After combining these two, we reach to F directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square, and just to remove this proportionality we take a constant, and that constant is electrostatic constant, that is K, and that K is having the value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So to remove the proportionality sign, we take F equals to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Okay, and I have told you about the K, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Then the most important thing is, you said कि ये जो K है ये 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught है ना। So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught में this epsilon naught is known as absolute permittivity. Okay, so absolute permittivity does mean that it is a property of a medium which tells us how easily our medium can be polarized. So the property of the medium, which tells us how easily a medium can be polarized. Okay, so it is a property of a medium between the two charges. We will discuss it in detail. So that was the simple, and this epsilon naught is having value 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. What was the unit of K? That was Newton meters per Coulomb square. You know that this 4 pi is constant है ना. सो ये एप्सिलॉन नॉट है, इसी की जो यूनिट है उसी को हमने K में रिवर्स किया है, एंड दैट इज कूलम स्क्वायर पर न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वायर. सो दिस वाज द this is the value of epsilon naught. These are the very basic things you have gone through even in the class 12th. Okay, so and in the 10th class you have the idea of this epsilon naught or this k q1 q2 by r square. Fine. So उसके बाद हम देखेंगे कि जो हमने अभी ये पढ़ा है कूलम्स लॉ, इसकी क्या प्रॉपर्टीज हैं, इसके अंदर जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आते हैं वो क्या हैं. देखो, सबसे पहली चीज ये किसके लिए एप्लीकेबल है? एप्लीकेबल टू द पॉइंट चार्जेस ओनली, बिकॉज द पॉइंट चार्जेस कैन नॉट बी पोलराइज्ड. अगर मैं बहुत बड़े बड़े चार्जेस ले लूँ, ठीक है, तो हम यहाँ पे क्या होगा, उनका एक दूसरे के जो एक दूसरे को अफेक्ट करेंगे, हम उस चीज को यहाँ नेग्लेक्ट करके चल रहे हैं. ओके, सो फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज दिस लॉ इज एप्लीकेबल, दिस लॉ इज एप्लीकेबल to the point charges, because point charges cannot be polarized, because point charges cannot be polarized. Okay, then the second one is this is a central force. Okay, Coulomb's force, जो हम आप ये जो फोर्स लगा रहे हैं चार्जेस की वजह से, जैसे आपने बोला कि पॉजिटिव रिपेल करते हैं, दैट इज ऑपोजिट चार्जेस अट्रैक्ट ईच अदर एंड सेम चार्जेस रिपेल ईच अदर. सो जो कूलम फोर्स है वो कूलम फोर्स कितनी है? दैट कूलम फोर्स is a central force. And what does it mean, central force? Central force does mean that this force is being applied over the line which is joining the two charges. Okay, acting on line joining two charges, 2 point charges. Okay, 2 point charges. Then after, for example, if I say that in this medium, if a charge is there and this charge is surrounded by many charges, okay, then you are supposed to calculate the net force on this particular charge. तो आप क्या करेंगे? सारे जो चार्जेस हैं सराउंडिंग में वो इस चार्ज के ऊपर फोर्स लगा रहे हैं, आप सारी फोर्सेस का एक तरीके से एड ऑन करेंगे, एडिशन करेंगे, है ना, आप ऐड करेंगे और आपका नेट फोर्स आ जाएगा. सो दिस इज बेसिकली नोन एज सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल. जब कोई भी एक पॉइंट चार्ज आप लेते हैं, वो पॉइंट चार्ज अगर बहुत सारे चार्जेस से सराउंड होता है, तो आप उस पर्टिकुलर चार्ज के ऊपर जो फोर्स लगती है, अगर आप वो फोर्स निकालना चाहते हैं तो आप सारी फोर्सेस का एक अलजेब्रिक एडिशन कर देते हैं, बट दैट इज अ वेक्टर एडिशन. डू रिमेंबर दैट. ओके, सो दिस it is a medium dependent force. This Coulomb force is a medium dependent force. And the fourth is it follows superposition principle. And superposition principle is अभी मैंने आपको बोला कि सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल क्या है, कि जो आप फोर्सेस निकालते हैं, ये ध्यान रखना है आपको, जो फोर्स लगती है दो पार्टिकल के बीच में, दैट इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द मीडियम, बट द नेट फोर्स ऑन ए पार्टिकल इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन द मीडियम. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट, प्लीज मार्क इट. ओके, सो force between two particles is independent of presence of other particle, so the net force or the resultant of net force is resultant of all individual forces. Okay, that is, if you say this F vector, the net resultant force, the net force, that is F1 vector plus F2 vector. So you are adding the individual forces and you are getting the net force. So F1 plus F2 plus F3 vector, like this, like Fn, if it is surrounded by n particles. Okay, then after this Coulomb force, this Coulomb's law follows Newton's third law, that is equal and opposite reaction. But always remember, this third law is sometimes misinterpreted in a way that these two forces which are acting equal and opposite, remember that these are acting on the different bodies. Okay, so Coulomb's force follows third law of the Newton. ये काफी theoretical part है, बट हमें करना है, ठीक है, तो इसलिए हमें एक बार इनसे go through होना है. Okay, fine. So this was the property of the Coulomb's force in the Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law ने Coulomb's force के magnitude के बारे में बताया, that is, it is proportional to the product and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, and we introduced a electrostatic constant, and that was K, which was equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where it was having the value 9 into 10 raised to power 9, and just because of epsilon naught, which is absolute permittivity, that is a property of the medium. Okay, and that was having the value 8.85 into 10 raised to power 12. So when I divided that, we got 9 into 10 raised to power 9. So that was simple. And these are the some properties, that is it is a central force that is acting on the line joining the 2 point charges. Then the superposition principle is there, that force is following the Coulomb's law, this is third law. Okay, so Coulomb's force follows third law of the Newton. And then after I discussed about the K. Please remember, this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I'm again writing it as a point. Okay, so 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 raised to power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay, so this is Newton meter square per Coulomb square. See, I talked about this epsilon naught. Here, this epsilon naught is permittivity of the medium. ओके, कोई भी मीडियम है जो किस तरीके से पोलराइज हो सकता है, कितना आसानी से पोलराइज हो सकता है, वो हमें ये बताता है. बट sometimes this epsilon naught absolute permittivity is for the vacuum. Okay, and for vacuum then अगर आप वैक्यूम ना लेके कोई मीडियम लें, तो उस वक्त आप क्या करते हैं, आप एप्सिलॉन मीडियम को इंट्रोड्यूस कराते हैं, epsilon medium, and that epsilon medium is epsilon naught times into this is epsilon r. Okay, this is absolute permittivity, and this epsilon r is known as relative permittivity. Okay, relative permittivity, and sometimes it is introduced as specific permittivity, and then It is also known as dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. Okay, so these are the names or the terms given to this epsilon r, and when you are supposed to find out the epsilon medium, you have to multiply the absolute permittivity, this absolute permittivity with this dielectric constant, or you can say the relative permittivity or the specific permittivity. And then after, please remember this epsilon r is having value 1 for air or vacuum. This epsilon r is having value 81 for the water, and this epsilon r is having value infinite for the metals. So just because of this, we can say that this epsilon r is having value from 1 to infinite. So the range of the value of the relative permittivity or the dielectric constant varies from 1 to infinity. Okay, this theoretical part is going on. Let me switch to some the numerical portion. Okay, some important points are left even. Let me complete this. देखिए, अगर आप किसी मीडियम में बात करते हैं, इन मीडियम आपने अभी वैक्यूम में जब बात की तो आपने क्या कहा कि F is K Q1 Q2 by R square. So you took this K. Okay, definitely in medium I will take Fm and Km Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, and you know that the K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Fine. If I take this Km, you have to write 1 by 4 pi epsilon m, the permittivity of the medium, and you know that epsilon m is epsilon naught into epsilon r. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into epsilon r, which is relative permittivity, and what it is? This is again K. So your Km becomes K by epsilon r, or you can say this is K naught. You can assume that whatever you find convenient. So K by epsilon r. From this Km I can calculate F, which is Fm. This is Km. You put K by epsilon r into Q1 Q2 divided by R square, and again this one is Fm equals to, this becomes F, this is F epsilon r. So what you are getting now, आपको पता चल रहा है कि मीडियम में जो फोर्स लगेगी वो आपके वैक्यूम में लगने वाली फोर्स से 1 बाय एप्सिलॉन r होगी, और जो आपका दिस इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक कांस्टेंट होगा वो भी 1 बाय एप्सिलॉन r होगा. सो ये दीज आर सम इंपॉर्टेंट रिजल्ट्स. K by epsilon r, you can write it is F vacuum. Okay, F vacuum by epsilon r. So both are being divided by epsilon r, or you can say the relative permittivity, dielectric constant, or the specific permittivity which you are defining here. Okay, then after there are some special note there. Special note there, and that special note is, see, I talked about that when you are talking about the force, electrostatic force between the 2 point charges, you always see that force, if I say that find out the force on this particular point 1, okay, then the force on this particle, the particle number 1 due to 2, will be independent of the medium between them. But when I say the net force on this Q1, then definitely it will be medium dependent. Fine. So let me write this point. Force on Q1 due to Q2 is independent of the medium. This is one statement. Okay, and then after, the second statement is but the net force on Q1, will be on net force on Q1 depends on Q2. Fine. Q1 depends on the medium, very sorry, so Q1 depends on medium. Fine. So force on Q1 due to Q2 is independent of the medium, but when you talk about the net force on the Q1, it is clearly depending upon the medium. That what does it mean? See, if I just take an example to understand this concept. If I say this Q1 and Q2 are kept here, Q1 and Q2 are kept here. See, Q1 and this is Q2. Fine. So Q1 and Q2 are there in the vacuum, and in this beaker, suppose you are taking water, and that means medium. The Q1 and Q2 are now kept in the water and in the medium, you can say. Okay, in the medium. Now, and this medium has the relative permittivity, suppose epsilon r. So when these charges, this was the example, these charges when were kept outside the medium, the force was F. Okay, but if I say the F net on Q1, it is F by epsilon r. This is a statement. But if I say that F निकालिए on 1 due to 2, it is only F. यहाँ भी F, यहाँ भी F, but the net force on the Q1 will be F by epsilon r. So that is depending upon the medium. Okay, fine. तो आपने क्या देखा, आप यहाँ लिख सकते हो कि जो फोर्स है, फोर्स Q1 एंड Q2 के बीच, जो फोर्स है वो मीडियम में फोर्स है, वो मीडियम में सेम रहेगी, बट net force on Q1 will be F by epsilon r. Okay, so that was the point. Then after, the very important second point is, अगर मान लीजिए आपको ये कहा जाता है कि दो चार्जेस वैक्यूम में इतने डिस्टेंस पे रखे हैं और उनके बीच में फोर्स लग रही है F. ओके, तो वो पूछ रहा है कि अगर मैं इन्हीं चार्जेस को किसी मीडियम में रख दूं और आपसे पूछे कि उनको कितने डिस्टेंस पे रखूं कि अभी भी उस मीडियम में उन दोनों के बीच में जो फोर्स है वो F ही लगे. ओके, सो दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. टू गेट सेम फोर्स in a medium, distance should be decreased by the relation, and the relation is r dash is r by root epsilon. This is the permittivity of the medium. Okay, so this is the permittivity of the medium. This is the distance between charges in the medium, distance between the charges in the medium. Okay, and this r is distance between the charges in the vacuum. So you can write it as distance between the charges in the vacuum, That means with the help of diagram you can understand that if Q1 and Q2 are kept in the vacuum, see like this, suppose it is distance r, okay, but as I kept in the medium, that distance will have to be decreased just because of to get the same force. Suppose here the force is F. okay, यही फोर्स मुझे मीडियम में चाहिए, तो इन दोनों के बीच का जो डिस्टेंस है वो मुझे एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा, दैट हैज टू बी डिक्रीज्ड. एंड सपोज दिस इज R dash. Okay, and this is having the permittivity as epsilon. Okay, so this is the distance for the same force in the medium. You can say this is distance for the same force in air and medium. Okay, so this was the concept. So now we are doing some 2 or 3 numerical problems, then we will be switching to the next lecture. In the next lecture we will discuss some numerical problems on the behalf of the vector form of the Coulomb's law. So the vector form of the Coulomb's law will be discussed in the next lecture. So before that, let me discuss some numerical problem here. Suppose the question is given as, suppose a body is there, A and B, okay, and this is having charge Q and this is also having charge Q. Fine. So the question is, you have to calculate F each. Does mean the force on the each particle, that is, you say the F. Okay, say F. Okay, you have to calculate F. Now the question is, if 25% charge is transferred from A to B, then F each कितना होगा, राइट? अभी इनके बीच में फोर्स F है, दिस इज गिवन, ओके, लेकिन जैसे ही मैंने A बॉडी से 25% चार्ज को B में भेजा, अब इनके बीच में कितना फोर्स लगेगा? ओके, सो लेट मी सॉल्व दिस. देखिए 25% डज मीन 1/4, ओके, एंड A का 1/4 आपने B में भेज दिया, दैट डज मीन आपने A में से Q/4 निकाल दिया और वो B में भेज दिया, Q + Q/4. So this become 3Q/4 and this is 5Q/4. Now you have the new charges, the redistribution of charges you have done. So this is 3Q/4 and 5Q/4 and then you solve them. This is F. So F कितना आएगा? देखिए आपने क्या देखा है, आप इसको ना एक तरीके से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, जरूरी नहीं आपको कंप्लीट फॉर्मूले लगाने हैं. देखिए F डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू Q A and Q B, you know that, okay, and F is directly proportional to 3/4 Q into 5/4 Q, and that does mean F is directly proportional to 15/20. This is 15/16 Q square. And if you see that F directly proportional to Q square, ये कब था? जब आपका F each कितना था? F था. So suppose this is F dash, okay, F dash हम नया निकाल रहे हैं, so F dash is 15/16 times of F. So this is your answer. Okay, so in this way you can calculate the numericals or compute the numericals. Very simple. सबसे पहले आपको समझना है कि क्या ट्रांसफर हुआ है, ट्रांसफर होने के बाद रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हुआ है, तब कितने चार्जेस आए, फिर आपने ये प्रोपोर्शनलिटी साइन जो कूलम्स लॉ है इसका मैंने यूज किया. ठीक है, जब आप इनके बीच में कोई इंटरेक्शन नहीं हो रही थी तो उस वक्त हमने क्या देखा था, दैट वाज F each was F. Okay, then put an important note here, important note there. So a point charge Q is to be divided into two parts and kept at fixed distance r. Then what should be the value of Q1 and Q2 for maximum force between them. ओके, ये एक तरीके से क्वेश्चन है, राइट, और ये कॉन्सेप्ट भी है. कई बार इसको जनरलाइज फॉर्म में दे दिया जाता है कि Q1 Q2 हैं, उनमें से एक में से DQ को निकाला Q1 DQ में से निकाला और DQ को निकाल के B में दिया आपने. ओके, तो चार्ज का रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो गया। अब क्या हुआ, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होने के बाद नए चार्जेस आए, फिर बोला इन नए चार्जेस को जब आपने फिक्स डिस्टेंस पे रखा तो इनके बीच में मैक्सिमम फोर्स लगनी चाहिए, यानी कि वो जो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हुआ है वो इस तरीके से होना चाहिए कि इनके बीच में क्या लगे, मैक्सिमम फोर्स। ओके, सो वो हमें देखना है कि कैसे। सो लेट मी टेक एन एग्जांपल। सी फॉर एग्जांपल मान ले ये क्यू जो है ये 10 कूलम है। ओके, सो इसको हमने डिवाइड किया क्यू बाई 2 और क्यू बाई 2 में, ठीक है। सो क्यू बाई टू में जब आप करेंगे दिस विल बिकम 5 and 5 एंड इट कैन ऑल्सो बिकम, अब देखिए मान लीजिए मैंने 10 कूलम का चार्ज लिया, मेरे पास नेट चार्ज 10 कूलम है, मैंने कहा कि उसको 2 चार्ज में डिवाइड किया और मैंने कहा कि वो 5-5 कर लिया मैंने, लेकिन मैंने जरूरी थोड़े वो 5-5 हो, वो 4-6 भी हो सकता है, 6-4 भी तो हो सकता है, isn't it? अगर मैं 5-5 लूंगा तो यहां अगर आप देखेंगे ये चार्जेस हैं क्यू। ओके, तो नए चार्जेस हमारे पास 5 and 5 आए, उसमें 4 और 6 आए, तो आप इसको सॉल्व करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली प्रोडक्ट करना 5-5 जा 25, 6-4 जा 24, मैक्सिमम कौन सा है 25 वाला, सो 25 that will be the maximum force. So from here you can generalize the concept. Okay, I'm not giving you the complete derivation of that, but you can calculate easily if you are a mathematics student. But if you are a NEET student, then please note this point, special note, two small charges charged spheres contain charges plus q1 and plus q2, okay, respectively. A charge dq is removed from sphere q1 and is transferred to the other, okay. Find charges on each sphere for maximum electrostatic force. Is it okay? So this is the charges on each sphere for the maximum electrostatic force. यही मैंने पीछे बोला इस स्टेटमेंट में कि आपने क्या किया, एक पॉइंट चार्ज क्यू है उसको डिवाइड करना है, ओके, और इस तरीके से डिवाइड करना है कि अब जो दो नए चार्ज बने हैं इनके बीच में मैक्सिमम फोर्स लगे. आई एम गिविंग यू द आइडिया ऑफ द डेरिवेशन ऑफ दिस. सपोज ए बॉडी इज हैविंग द Q1 चार्ज, आपने कहा dq इससे निकाला और Q2 जो इस पे चार्ज था इसमें dq हमने ट्रांसफर कर दिया. आप क्या करना, आप इसको फिर से कूलम्स लॉ में पुट करना. आप क्या कह रहे हैं, फोर्स क्या आनी चाहिए, मैक्सिमम, और जो फोर्स मैक्सिमम आने चाहिए उसका डेरिवेटिव क्या होगा, जीरो होगा. आप जीरो के इक्वल पुट करेंगे तो आपके जो एक नए चार्जेस आएंगे Q1 डैश एंड Q2 डैश, वो क्या आएंगे, Q1 प्लस Q2 by 2 and Q1 plus Q2 by 2. So let me erase it and just write it fairly. Then charges on each sphere will be Q1 plus Q2 by 2. Okay, fine. And मैंने आपको एक एग्जाम्पल भी लेके दिखाया, so you can proceed in this way. Again, the last example of this class is the question. Suppose a body is there and B body is there. This A is having the charge plus Q and this is minus Q. Okay, plus Q and minus Q. Then what it is, कह रहा है कि F each, आपको दिया हुआ है F है, यानी कि force on each particle is F. Now 25% charge is transferred from A to B. Okay, then find F each. Okay, now when 25% charge is transferred, see, now this is plus q and this is minus q. In the last case I took q and q. Now this q minus q by 4, this q plus q by 4, 25% does mean the 1/4 of the charge, that is q by 4 मैंने यहाँ से remove किया और वहाँ transfer किया. So on the charge this b will become q plus q by 4 and this is minus q plus q by 4. So that's why this is minus 3q by 4 and this become 3q by 4. So when you calculate f each, which is directly proportional to the qa and qb, and qa becomes 3 by 4 into 3 by 4. Okay, so again you can say this is qa and qb and this is again force, so it is 9 by 16 f. So f जो डैश बोल सकते हो, न्यू जो चार्ज आया है, सॉरी न्यू फोर्स जो आई है ऑन ईच पार्टिकल, दैट इज 9 by 16 f. आई थिंक these two numericals and the third the concept. मैंने अभी कूलम्स लॉ में सिर्फ आपको 2 न्यूमेरिकल और एक कॉन्सेप्ट करवाया है, जिसमें जो चार्ज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आपको मैंने बताया कि अगर आपको मैक्सिमम इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स चाहिए तो किस तरीके से आपका ये जो चार्ज है कैसे डिवाइड होता है. फाइन, सो thank you very much. In the next lecture we will be switching to the vector form of the force. Till then, goodbye and please do share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.